Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of TCG Talk, back today with another video. And in today's video we're going to be going over the spoilers, or I guess the release of High Seas, talk about the article, talk about some of the cards that were revealed and everything surrounding it, and hopefully have some fun and get your thoughts on it as well. So if you're new to the channel, welcome, thank you so much for stopping by. Hopefully you enjoy your stay. If you're a long-staying supporter, thank you so much as always. We'll get right into it. Check out the Discord down below, creator sheet, all that good stuff. So when the cards were unfortunately spoiled, it was like, what, 2 days ago at this point, 3 days ago, by the tournament organizer is what I believe. I'm not 100% confirmed. I'm pretty sure what happened was when they went to release the, I guess, the tickets for the world premiere, they accidentally had some links go live that had the cards on them, which is super unfortunate. I'm sure they didn't mean to, and like anyone who's ever done any type of press release or social media release or anything like that knows it's an unfortunate mistake, but it can happen. It's technology. So hopefully no one got wrung over the coals too much for it, but it does suck. And so it did end up showing some of the cards as well as the heroes that were going to be in High Seas. I don't know if they were planning on releasing the information on them this weekend in Brazil or if they were waiting until the Pro Tour, but regardless, I'm sure LSS kind of had to change up their timeline a little bit. This will probably end up even affecting spoiler season, is my guess, because of some of the cards that were revealed and how they were revealed. But regardless, you got to take the good with the bad, and they ended up releasing an article 2 days later detailing the set a little bit, as well as the heroes and some cards. So doing the best with what they can, and we still got hype from it. We still had some fun, but that's why I wanted to wait. I wanted to see what LSS would do. I didn't want to talk about spoilers that were at the time leaks. But regardless, this is the article for High Seas. This is the trailer. I'll link it down below. Definitely give it a watch. It's really fun, really cool. It says, set sail on High Seas in search of ancient treasure, big game, sea monsters, and adventure of a lifetime. Releasing June 6, High Seas introduces highly anticipated pirate and necromancer classes. So all three, and we'll talk about them in a second, all three heroes have the pirate class attached to them. So pirate is not a talent, it is a class. 3 new dual class heroes will navigate Rafe's treacherous open waters, each wielding a unique swashbuckling strategy that taps, even though this isn't bolded, we'll talk about that here in a second, that taps into previously uncharted waters, flesh and blood game design, so on and so forth. So talked about all that. They have the product sheet here. So card previews start May 15th through the 17th. That'll be really fun. Really short preview season. I like that. I don't want it to be drawn out too much. And that'll be the week before the world premiere on May 23rd. Some differences of this set as previous ones. We have the world premiere May 23rd. We have the calling type pay, which will be limited May 24th and 25th. And then pre-release week is May 30th through June 8th for like pre-releases at stores. The one cool thing is one of the heroes, Gravy Bones, will be getting an armory deck. Gravy Bones is a pirate necromancer. Because the other 2 heroes are pirate ranger and pirate mechanologist, they still have a little bit of set support, or a little bit of class support because they're current classes. So I'm assuming they're wanting to be able to give Gravy Bones maybe even a little bit more support without dedicating too many slots in the set, since necromancer is a brand new class. But we get the armory deck May 30th. And the actual set release for High Seas is June 6th. So really cool. You can get the Armory deck a week early, basically the week of pre-release season, which I'm definitely going to be getting mine. Super cool here. We also have the product sheet. I don't think this is anything too crazy. Yeah, it's just talking about the different how the set is going to go down. But Adventure Awaits, kind of talking about everything. There's going to be 3 different displays with all 3 heroes. The set configuration is a 265 card set with 1 Fabled, 6 Legendary, 46 Majestic, 64 Rares, 126 Common, so on and so forth, 21 Marvels, 16 cards per pack, 24 packs per display, so on and so forth. One of the cool things about this set that kind of, as it kind of goes into each hero, is this, and I'll go back to the original thing for this. We'll talk about the heroes here in a second, so I'm going to skip that. But the treasure packs the packs themselves are going to be gold, I'm pretty sure, which is really cool. But gold, precious jewels, long lost relics, treasure packs hold a boundless trove of jaw-dropping collector pieces and legendary grails waiting to be claimed, those bold enough to seek them. Treasure packs will be one per booster display. So basically, every time you buy a box, this will basically be a box topper, so to speak. It's a pack with 3 cards in it. And there's certain, like, they're allocated certain ways. Let's see if it's here. Yeah, so here's the configuration of these treasure packs. It's a 90-card set, so it's very similar to the gym pack. So there's a certain amount of cards in these treasure packs. 11 marbles, 4 legendaries, 52 pirate booty, 14 commons, and 9 puzzle pieces. 43 different lost treasures to discover in addition to the 90-card set. 17 unique lost treasures, only one of each exists in the treasure pack. So there are 17 one-of-ones in the set, is how I'm reading that, in these treasure packs across the world. So it's almost like the serialized cards with Chain and Prism. So you can try to find these, which is crazy. 1 treasure pack per display, 3 cards per pack, 1 gold slot, 1 map slot, 1 treasure slot. In the middle, protected by the gold and map slot cards. Treasure slot contains a cold foil or lost treasure. So each booster display contains 1 treasure pack, and they're not available for individual sales. So that's a really cool thing. It's a little bit of a collector's piece, but it doesn't take away from the, just opening the set in general, which I'm super happy about. It'll just be something extra, and it'll help people be able to buy boxes and have more incentive to buy sealed. So at the end of the day, that's always a good thing. And then it goes to the product configuration. Definitely take a look at this. Feel free to do it. One interesting note that isn't as big of a deal for our U.S. Listeners, but for Japan is not going to be supporting limited in their boxes. So their release date is a week early, and they have a 264 card set, so 1 less card. They have 9 cards per pack instead of 16, and so it's not designed for limited play. It's just for constructed, which is really interesting. I am interested. I don't know the exact reason for that. I haven't read into that as to why. But regardless, that's kind of where they're at. So, all that being said, definitely take a look at the article, give it a look, and we'll talk about these heroes that have been revealed. So we have Marlin, Treasure Hunter, a Pirate Ranger hero. We have Gravy Bones, Shipwrecked Looter, my personal favorite. Super excited about Pirate Necromancer, and Puffin, Hightail, Pirate Mechanologist hero. So we have 3 heroes, 3 different classes on top of the Pirate class supporting. We'll go through each of these, but I'm super excited about the Necromancer here, Gravy Bones. In any video game that's like RPG-esque, like Diablo or anything like that, I always want to play Necromancer. It's either Necromancer or Rogue, but pretty much it's Necromancer. Has always been my favorite thing. And when I saw Necromancer, I was like, I didn't know if they were going to go the Allies route or not, or if we were just going to be able to like bring cards back from grave that we've attacked with. I wasn't sure how they were going to do that, but as you can see, it is going to be an Allies Matters class. I've seen some people on Twitter and Blue Sky compare this to Big Dragon Dromai, which I thought was really interesting. So Gravy Bones' ability is instant, and you see this little symbol here, right? Instant, and whatever that means. Like I said in the article, it said taps into a new mechanics. A lot of people are thinking, it's not 100% confirmed yet, but a lot of people are thinking that you're going to tap something, whether it will be an ally. Some people are thinking that Marlin will be able to tap a cannon or tap something like that in order to do these abilities. But instant, we're just going to say tap for this, or exhaust. Tap, destroy a gold you control, draw a card, then discard a card. And that coincides with the second ability that says, if a blue card has been put into your graveyard this turn, you may play cards with Watery Grave from your graveyard. As you can see, both of these allies have Watery Grave. Watery Grave says, when this is put into your graveyard from the arena, turn it face down. So basically, you're going to be able to attack, block, or I don't know if these allies are going to be dual-sided or not. I would think they would be if they're allies. So they'll probably have some type of attack action or something on the other side is my guess. Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? It could be something like Dromai where their front side is just to put them onto the field. But you put them on there, and then once they go to the grave, they can't be brought back. But you're going to be able to bring them from the grave. So you basically have ways where you can discard these or get rid of them in some way, shape, or form, put them in your graveyard, and then be able to bring them back. And so as long as they don't leave the arena, they can come back. Once they leave the arena, then they're gone for good. So you have Rigor Mortis. It says action, pay 1 resource, and tap exhaust. I don't know if that means itself or another ally you control. We'll get all that here soon, I'm assuming. Probably at the Pro Tour, maybe. Maybe not. Watery Grave. It attacks for 6. It only has 1 health, so it's a 1 for 6. It's kind of like a Vincerakai is the best way I look at it. And then you have Chum, Friendly First Mate, and Marvel, which is really cool. You can either exhaust to attack it. It attacks for 4. It has 6 health. It's a big boy. Or you can instant speed exhaust to discard a card with Watery Grave. Until the end of turn, opponents must choose this as the target of their attacks if able. So a defensive and offensive tool. So who knows how this is going to exactly work. We'll get more clarification, obviously, as time goes on. I do see this as like a big Dragon Jeremiah type deck. What's also kind of cool about this, and this is just, me throwing stuff out there, is it seems like this is going to be like a blue and yellow based deck. I mean, we do have some of these cards I'm going to show, like Paddle Faster, which comes in red, which says when it's a Pirate Necromancer attack action. When this attacks, you may exhaust an ally you control. If you do, this gets go again. It's a 3 block. However, reds are going to have to be very impactful. This is just, me throwing something out there. I don't have any, facts for this. This is just my assumption. Yellows and blues are going to make up most of this deck because, as we can see, both of these allies are yellows, yellow pitch. And then for Gravy Bones' ability, if a blue card has been put into your graveyard this turn, you may play cards with Watery Grave from your graveyard. So are we going to have to juggle having enough blue cards to be able to turn that ability on, right? So we can destroy gold, discard a blue, and then play these yellow allies. And then how does that affect the reds in the deck, right? So it's going to be really interesting to see that. We have a cool card. I really like this card. Shard the High Seas. It's a majestic. It says, look at the top 2 cards of your deck. You may pitch a blue card from among them. Put the rest into your graveyard. Create a gold token for each yellow card put in your graveyard this way. Go again. So this has so many cool interactions just without even knowing more cards in the set. 1, you play a blue to potentially, right, in a perfect world, you play this, you look at the top 2 cards of your deck, and you find something like a yellow ally and a blue. And you're able to, discard the yellow ally to create a gold token, and then you pitch the blue to gain 3 resources. And because of Gravy Bones' ability, if a blue card has been put in your graveyard this turn, you may play cards with Watery Grave from your graveyard. You play this Shard of the High Seas, it goes to graveyard, so a graveyard has been put in your graveyard this turn, or blue has been put in your graveyard this turn. You make a gold token from your ally, and then you gain 3 resources, right? That is the ideal situation, right? If you don't, at the very least, you turn on Gravy Bones. Let's say you find 2 allies on top. Then you make, it says you may pitch a blue card from among them, put the rest of your graveyard. Let's say you find 2 yellows on top, and they're both allies. Then you make 2 gold tokens. And you don't get any resources, but you at least turned on Gravy Bones, and you can play one of those now because you have put a card with blue into the graveyard this turn. So really, really cool. Really interesting mechanic, little opting, little draw discard, being able to play the cards that you do discard, right? So it's really efficient. And then there's an offhand Compass of the Sunken Depths, instant exhaust, look at the top card of your deck. The first card with Watery Grave you play from your graveyard each turn gets go again. So you're going to be able to swing with these allies with go again and potentially swing with another one depending on if you have the exhaust resources I'm assuming to do it. It's going to be really interesting to see how the exhaust mechanic works. I do understand some people's hesitation, making it be more like Magic. I trust LSS to have some cool, unique spin on it to where it feels different. They kind of, have done a good job so far at doing that for the most part. So definitely give them some grace there. Another thing before we get into Puffin, we're going to have to be making gold like crazy. Not like crazy every single turn, but it's going to have to be a pretty consistent mechanic. So we'll have to see how that goes. We do have Puffin Hightail, Pirate Mechanologist. Action, exhaust, destroy a gold you control, create a golden cog token. The second time you crank each turn, draw a card. So of note, her ability, that ability is an action without go again. So this is something you're probably going to want to do at the end of your turn is my guess. Because if we go back to Gravy Bones Gravy Bones is an instant, so it's not going to take up your action point, whereas this one will. So it's probably an end of turn type thing where you make some gold, do some things, attack, and then at the end you exhaust one of the cogs that you created, because I'm assuming that's where you're going to exhaust. Exhaust one of those cogs, destroy a gold that you made, and then create another golden cog token. Golden cogs have crank. They do nothing inherently. It says this enters the arena with a steam counter. At the start of your turn, destroy this unless you remove a steam counter from it. So you're trying to make multiple golden cogs, crank them, I'm assuming, and then draw, and then use other items, maybe like Cerebellum Processor and like some other really important impactful items with crank in order to be able to just keep drawing cards. She also has, because there's no boost mechanic, as you can see, so you're going to have to find different ways to get go again. Once per turn instant, exhaust a cog you control. This gets +1 or go again. I'm assuming once you exhaust, you can't destroy or use those cogs. We'll have to see, or anything that you exhaust, so that'll be really interesting. But you can get +1 or go again. So this is really cool for Sky Skimmer, because if you're cranking and gaining action points in some way, being able to like instant speed play items or something like that, and similar to how Dio does it, if there's a way to gain action points, like crank is going to naturally gain action points, you know what I mean? So if you can, crank multiple times, keep drawing cards, you build these action points up, then you play a card like Sky Skimmer, and instead of giving it go again, you just give it +1, and all of a sudden it's a 0 for 5 that takes up one of your like 2 or 3 action points, and you're playing really above rate cards. There are also 3 blocks. Really, really cool. Of note, a funny joke that people are saying is Puffin is the bird is the actual hero. People always had the Victor Goldmain jokes, right, with the horse being the hero, and a lot of people are saying Puffin is now the hero. LSS having a little bit of fun with that, it seems. But we also finally had Marlin, Treasure Hunter, Pirate Ranger hero. This one is the most interesting one to me, and I'm super excited to see where she goes. I am the most excited for Gravy Bones, but from a mechanic standpoint, I'm really excited to see where Marlin goes. Marlin is action, destroy a gold you control, create a goldfin harpoon in your hand, go again. So it does have go again, it's an action. Whenever you draw a card during your action phase, you may put an arrow from your hand into your arsenal. So there's some cool interactions with like stuff like Death Dealer, where like you load an arrow with Death Dealer, you draw, and then load another arrow. So you're like able to load 2 arrows with Death Dealer if you have New Horizon, obviously, out, which is really interesting. And it looks like she's going to be a super aggressive type ranger. Goldfin Harpoon says this card is yellow but can't be pitched. If this would be put in your graveyard, instead remove it from the game. I'm really excited to see if there's ways to make like multiple harpoons in a hand, and then also like keep drawing cards, if that makes sense. Like I would love to use cards like Try Shot in Rapid Fire, because Rapid Fire is a yellow 2 block. People probably don't even know what this card is. Hold on one second. I'm gonna, again, professional YouTuber here, pull this up on the fly, because why not? This is a card that probably won't see play, but it tickles my brain to see if it ever is going to happen. Until the end of turn, arrows you control gain go again. And it has go again. It also has the reload mechanic on it. So being able to use cards like that and cards like Try Shot, you may activate the target bow you control 2 additional times this turn. You play Try Shot, you play Rapid Fire, you play something that maybe there's a card, it can be like a Majestic or like some type of equipment where you can make multiple harpoons, and then you keep drawing cards. It's like you activate Death Dealer, load an arrow, draw a card, and you just keep that cycle going. Who knows? It's Magical Christmas Land, of course, but that's the fun part about this, right? I'm really excited to see that. We have Big Game Trophy Shot. Your next arrow attack gets +4. If it has Harpoon in its name, it gets, when it hits a hero, create a gold token, draw a card, then discard a card. Again, Marlin says whenever you draw a card during your action phase, you may put an arrow in your hand face down into your arsenal. So this will trigger that, which is really cool. And then we had a couple other cards of note for each of these heroes. So Treasure Island, we have another macro, a start and play, stay and play landmark that says the first time a hero is attacked each turn, put a gold counter on this. Whenever you or an ally you control deals damage to an opposing hero, you remove that many gold counters from this. then create gold tokens equal to the number of counters removed this way. So the first time a hero is attacked each turn, not just your turn, each turn, create a gold token. So let's say for 2 whole turn cycles, someone's attacked but no one is hit. You'll create 4 gold tokens total. Then whenever you or an ally control deals damage to an opposing hero, you remove that many gold counters from this. So let's say you hit them for 4 and they don't block it, then you create 4 gold tokens. That seems pretty cool. And that's how I read it for like some of these heroes that really are going to care about gold to be able to like, you know, function some of their abilities. So some really intricate stuff. I'm really excited to see the, you know, the meat and potatoes of this set. We have King Shark Harpoon, which is a go fish mechanic, which is so funny. When this hits a hero, they choose and reveal a card from their hand. If it's an attack action card, they discard it and you create a gold token. If you've activated a cannon this turn, instead look at their hand and choose the card. So I'm assuming cannon's gonna be like similar to what like allies are, or like what you use to exhaust with Marlin. That's what I'm thinking. I could be wrong there. We have Golden Sky Warden for Mechanologist. Galvanized. They're bringing the Galvanized mechanic back, which is really interesting. When this defends, you may destroy an item you control. If you do, this gets +1. If a golden cog is destroyed this way, create a gold token and repeat this process. So Galvanized was a mechanic that came out in Bright Lights, where basically somewhat overrated attacks were at the time, but underrated on blocks. And basically you were able to utilize item destruction to then get more block value. Well, it seems like they're trying to stack that, so you have really good offensive tools that become even more potent because you're getting action points from a crank, but then you're destroying those things that you just crank to get better block value, right? So like you make 2 golden cogs, you crank twice, gain 2 action points, play out 2 attacks, draw up, and then you defend with 2 galvanized cards, killing those cogs that you just crank because they're going to die next turn anyway and get more defense value, right? So you have this cycle. Really interested to see how that goes. But super excited for this set. It's really cool. I do love the aesthetic. Some people are hit and miss on it, and I understand. I personally think they kind of went all 3 ways here. They had like the, you know, the hardcoreness of Gravy Bones. Some people don't like the name. You know, it's a matter of opinion. I ain't gonna spend time on that. But some people don't like the name. But I do like how they kind of have 3 facets of pirate life. They have like the deep, serious, hardcore style with Gravy Bones. They have kind of the more general, what you think of when you think of pirate and Marlin. And then they have like the fun, you know, kind of adventurous side with Puffin. So I think they did a really good job on thematics for this. But yeah, I'm super excited about it. Hopefully this was a good breakdown for you. I was trying to give a general overview of the cards that were spoiled. And I did most of them, I think, if not all of them. So hopefully this was good enough for you. But if you enjoy this type of content, please leave a like, comment, or subscribe. If not me, it's completely fine. Go to another creator, leave a like, comment, subscribe on their stuff. Let's go where people see in this game. And I'll see y'all next time on TCG Talk. Thank y'all so much.